The unilateral US sanctions on Sudan, which came in a pressing and a total way in 1997, regardless of describing it as a decision coming from the United States of America, still the damage occurred on human beings of this country. And the matter has exceeded to the government earlier, and it seems like there is something that needs to be talked about and discussed with the world public opinion.
بدأت العقوبات الاقتصادية الأمريكية على السودان.
US sanctions started first steps in Sudan since 1993. The basic idea beyond the sanctions is to tighten pressure on people so as to create a situation that reflects a political instability and political rejection to the political system, preparing for an uprising in the end to turn over the ruling government.
So if we stumbled on the issue of diagnosis, there will not be any respectable specialism in the description of any pathological situations that require special treatment. And between diagnosis and treatment in Sudan hospitals, the sanctions were standing there waiting.
المحور الأول أو المجال الأول اللي بتأثر فيه
The first field in which the US coercive sanctions affect severely in the emergency epidemic acts take, for instance, 2012 outbreak of fever. No cure, no remedy, no injection. Diagnosis problems because of special lab and solutions which we can't own because of US sanctions.
The pharmaceutical industry is civil and has nothing to do with politics and governments. How the drug trade has turned into a political pressure tool for America, especially by preventing the financing of any shipments of medicine to Sudan through banks in the world. And the issue is deeper than what appears on the picture now. There is what is being said about this matter, and it's extremely painful.
مسألة الدواء دي المسألة الأولى بعض الشركات الأمريكية وبعض الشركات حتى غير الأمريكية لكن ملتزمة بالحصار.
This issue is represented in three axes: remedy. Some US companies and even non-US ones commit to the imposed embargo. So if you want to import remedies from them, you need very long time after you take OVAC license from the US administration, which cost a very long time. Take as an example JSK company, which left Sudan and that threatened with missing the Ventolin very soon.
What would one do if got thrown in discussing such a thing, such as kidney failure patients in Sudan? It's no longer possible to control it by conventional means. For how long are we going to continue to provide painkillers to our patients and watching their kidneys on a daily basis? Did the movement of development in the treatment of kidney diseases stop at this point?
نحن في السودان عندنا أكثر من 10 أعوام الأخيرة بننقل الكلى في
renal patients who will be better if they do planting early. But this process in Sudan, in Ibn Sina or the Heart Hospital and Ahmed Qasim Hospital, in a very genuine way, we suffer from lack of medical solutions. These solutions are imported from America, which imposed embargo on Sudan, and that led to lack of specialized doctors in the field of renal plant who are working throughout Sudan hospitals.
Between Sudan's different climate compared to other regions in the African continent and problems of treatment technology of chest diseases and asthma, politics converses with all of other humanities about if there was any legal formula on the level of legislation included in the core of the process of breathing for humans, and be able to impose on 20 patients to breathe by one breathing device.
المشاكل بتواجهنا في غرفة الأزمة جهاز النيبولايزر. النيبولايزر فيه حاجة اسمها ربر، الربر دي اللي بيطلع عليه الهواء من الموتور اللي هو مفترض يمشي برا.
Obstacles facing an asthma room is a device called nebulizer, the device that gets air from the patient's motor. So we try to substitute with alternative remedy, and that's not good because it gives misleading results. Finally, the device stops working, and then oxygen must be obtainable, but the central oxygen was impeded.
The US equipments and medical devices turned to ruins that the hospital rooms and stores are crowded with. Although the technicians who work on these devices had prepared themselves to enter the third millennium according to the large US scientific progress and its effects, which extended to the deepest depth of human knowledge by calibration and accuracy of diagnosis and censor. And this represents a great loss for any people or country, lost contact with centers and sources of sophisticated US technology. One might find what it takes to keep up with the issue of watching the borders of his country by land or by air or sea. But it's difficult for oneself to speak about the safety of medical solutions and variant fluids, which is very important for people's daily lives without having the necessary technology to do the work. And the results of this reflects on the ability of this country to fight pollution on the level of element and component, and all of the virtual organisms or microorganisms in the environment surrounding it.
هذا الجهاز اللي هو مستخدم هنا في المعامل بتاعت الأغذية.
This device is used in nutrition so as to determine the validity and safety of food for human beings. It is used for all food source and preparing samples in the required ways, and comes the phase in which quantities are assessed according to the specific sort of food, and the phase number 2 using this device which is US made. But unfortunately, it is defected since 2004.
Instead of superpower countries such as the US contributing in the fight against cancer, a disease that's steadily increasing, they prevent the supply of codes for the work of devices that serve in public hospitals and dealing directly with the public. And among those people, there are patients coming from neighboring countries.
عندنا احنا اجهزه لينير وعندنا أجهزة الكوبالت وعندنا أكسلريتر.
We have many devices need spare parts which are not found in Sudan and any other country, and if we want to any state to import these devices, we find that those patients need remedy, and we have many devices need spare parts which are not found in Sudan and any other country. And if we went to any state to import these devices, we find that we were monitored. The medical solutions used in these devices are US made and we can't buy them.
Where is the wisdom in the equation that the world, with its health institutions and organizations, is standing doing nothing as it looks toward the US Treasury for the countries that are banned financially at a time when the world should be looking at the direction of the hundreds of victims?
التعامل مع السي دي سي طبعا صعب بسبب الحظر في جلب المحاليل، وثانيا في
Dealing with CDC is of course too difficult due to the embargo of importing solutions, and secondly, in the process of training here is provided in high level standard for the staff so as to check up epidemic diseases due to the embargo, so we can't send samples abroad.
We have to look to the future seriously, enough so as not to find ourselves wrestle on sending a Ventolin disc to a patient in this or that country. Because of the companies that were supplying this medicine to Sudan since the 40s of the last century stopped working. So humanity in this critical reality must react now more than ever for the lifting of unilateral US sanctions on Sudan and any other people suffering the same on the face of this earth. That we pray for is safety.